Welcome to E.T.'s Frightfully Funny Flicks. I'm Cassie DeLaura, and throughout our show, we're opening up our E.T. vault to look back at interviews and behind-the-scenes moments from the films that are not only spooky, but also funny. From the bewitching Sanderson sisters in Hocus Pocus to the whimsical works of Tim Burton, E.T. has it all. The recipe for balancing the frightening with the funny can be tricky, but these films all seem to have the same secret ingredient, and her name is Christina Ricci.
She's a no-emotion little girl.
Are they dead? Does it matter?
Everybody knows a lot of people like that.
Aha! Showtime!
She doesn't show lots of happiness, or she doesn't show you when she's sad, except for maybe she'll crack a little smile sometimes, or she'll give you a little evil grin, but that's pretty much it. She's scheming. She loves to be suspicious of people.
May I have the salt?
What do we say?
Now.
Well, the hard thing for me is the food, because we had a couple of breakfast scenes, and you just look at this food and you go,
Where's your costume?
This is my costume. I'm a homicidal maniac. They look just like everyone else.
What do your friends say when they find out that you're playing in this movie?
Well, mainly they just go around humming the theme song for a while.
The Addams Family.
Because when I first told them, everybody started hearing about it, and they kept humming the theme song, kind of annoying me.
Don't torture yourself, Gomez. That's my job.
Well, I read the script and I thought it was very well written and it was a lot of fun. Very much like a family kind of atmosphere, except that they are very weird, crazy, bizarre, humorous, and human at the same time.
Look at her. I would die for her. I would kill for her. Either way, what bliss?
I see it sort of like that people are people no matter what, and no matter how they dress, no matter how they live. People are people, and human beings are human beings. And beyond the fun and games and all that, there's a kind of message that says, you know, weird-looking people are human beings too. And you'll see in the Addams Family that these people are very warm, and they're very loving, and they're real human beings in spite of their weirdness.
Leather straps, red-hot pokers.
Later, my dearest.
And he starts dancing the Russian dance. Hey! Right. Okay, let's try that again. The brothers Karamazov and the German brothers Grimm. There's Orville, right?
And Wilbur.
Orville's nothing minus him.
Hey, let's dance the dance of brotherly love. Mamushka!
You've been practicing.
Oh gosh. Well, first they'd come in and they'd put my hair up in a wrap. They'd put it in like 3 big pin curls and put a stocking cap over it. And they put my makeup on. Of course, made me like really pale. And they did weird stuff to my eyes. And then they'd put the wig on me. In-laws! Our nanny is like psycho, and I realize that, and I'm starting to get kind of suspicious. And she realizes that I'm being suspicious. And so she tells our mother and father that we really want to go to summer camp really badly.
Summer camp.
And everybody there is like blonde and blue-eyed, and you know, they're a couple misfits, and they're sort of our friends, and we really stand out.
Oh, Wednesday's at that very special age when a girl has only one thing on her mind. Boys.
Homicide. My favorite scene to shoot was when we were doing the play and all the Chippewas take over the show when we're killing the pilgrims and roasting our camp counselors on spits. That was just really exciting because it was really like I was shooting an action-adventure film because like there are people diving on set and shooting flaming arrows. And it was just really exciting, and I felt like I was a part of something really cool. It was great.
They're just shy.
We're not shy.
or contagious. I probably like camp, but for some reason I've never been. I don't know. I can't swim. Wednesday doesn't like it, though. She's not the outdoorsy type.
I have to get out of here. I have allergies.
I meet David Krumholtz, who plays Joel, and we basically, like, I guess sort of fall in love. Anybody who's sort of like different and sort of strange is total Addams material, you know? It's the kind of person we just accept right away.
Was this your first on-screen kiss?
Yes. It really wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, it was just like, it's not real life, it's a movie, and you know, nobody made a big deal out of it. It wasn't a big deal.
Why do you hate the baby?
We don't hate him. We just want to play with him.
Especially his head. Our little baby brother is named Pubert, and when he first comes, me and Pugsley are totally jealous. We just hate that he's new and that they all love him.
He's a real devil.
And so we try to kill him, like in as many ways as we can. We do our own little scientific experiment, which will fall first, a cannonball or a baby.
What a glorious evening.
Rain.
She really knows what she's doing, you know? I mean, I guess in some ways she manipulates situations just a little bit.
Isn't she pretty?
She's scaring me! Actually, I do smile in this movie.
There's a roller coaster scene thing where you're in a chair and you go down a thing. Was that for real? I mean, were you going?
Well, no, it wasn't really fast. They did it really slow, and then they just kind of speeded up the film.
What about the house?
It was great, but you know what's actually kind of funny is that the outside, half of it is a matte painting. When we were shooting it, there's only half a house there, and it was kind of like, well, what are they going to do for the rest of the house?
Yeah.
But inside was just great.
What was that? The up and atom machine. My dad was a great inventor, but he had a little trouble getting going in the morning. Didn't he ever hear of caffeine?
I think kids really enjoy it, but I think adults will go see it and enjoy it also, just because they knew the Casper character, and you know, there are a lot of themes that I guess they can relate to.
Casper, I have a date. What's this Vic guy got that I don't, huh?
A pulse?
Big fleshy deal.
I had one flying scene. We were all in harnesses, and they did it a couple of ways. One way was we had a harness on, and you know, it was rigged from above. Another way, they had a platform that was rigged to rise and turn around.
Casper, no! Casper, no! Oh my God! Hi, this is very high!
Is it hard being young and kind of growing up on camera?
I don't think so. I mean, there's nothing really hard about it. The hours aren't that long, and I love working, so it's not. I'm having fun. I think that if I was trying to be something else, I might feel pressure, but I realize people always want to make you into something else, and they want to make you perfect. I just kind of remember that I'm 15 and I'm still going through my awkward stage, and you know, that's okay. I don't have to be perfect. No one's perfect at 15 or any other age.
Can I keep you? Casper?
Ghosts and Christina Ricci? Now that is a winning combination. Coming up, we've got Janet, Brad, and of course, Frankenfurter. The Rocky Horror Picture Show is considered to be the longest-running movie in cinema history, and for years it has been leaving fans with a sense of anticipation.
Let me show you a rhyme, maybe play you a sign. You look like you're both pretty groovy.
The Rocky Horror Picture Show first hit theaters in 1975, a big screen adaptation of a successful theatrical production in London.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
The movie starred Susan Sarandon, Barry Bostwick, future rock star Meatloaf, and Tim Curry, who originated the role of Dr. Frankenfurter in the stage show.
Well, how about that?
Despite a meager reception at the box office, Rocky Horror slowly crept its way up to cultural phenomenon.
The general public was not ready for anything like that. The kids were.
The flick developed a fan movement unprecedented in cinema.
I mean, it happened, I suppose, because 4 or 5 people were smashed one day and went dressed as the characters, and it just sort of took off from New York.
Weekly midnight screenings evolved into an immersive theater experience, and in short time, they were popping up across the country.
It went on to be the biggest cult film in history. People line up to see it 100 times. They dress like the characters and throw things at the screen. That's why we're opening Tim and Meat's one-stop Rocky Horror Shop.
All the Rocky Horror props you need under one roof.
While the movie played on screen, shadow casts dressed as the characters and reenacted scenes.
What all the parents are worried about is that what's going on in the audience. Can't blame us for that.
The audience got in on the fun by ceremoniously throwing items at the screen and, of course, dancing the time warp.
I don't know, I mean, people are writing papers on it now, breaking down the barrier between film and the audience. I get sort of very earnest students of sociology saying, you know, will you read my term paper?
For many, going to a Rocky Horror midnight screening turned into a seminal coming-of-age experience.
The little kids start talking about, have you seen the Rocky Horror Show? And they aim to be able to go to see. I think it's become a rites of passage.
I see it as sort of a coming-of-age experience, too. When they reach the age of 12 or 13, they finally grow up enough and become an adult, and they can go see the Rocky Horror Picture Show on Saturday night.
Whatever happened to Saturday night?
I remember I played the record enough that I had to buy it again.
I wasn't allowed to see it. I've been a fan ever since. I used to sneak it and watch it all the time until my mom finally walked in on me one day and I tried to stop it and it wouldn't stop.
Rocky Horror went from underground hit to mainstream.
Good evening. My name is Jim Carrey.
Even becoming part of Jim Carrey's early stand-up comedy.
And see what's in the slab?
Over the years, Rocky Horror has received all kinds of pop culture tributes.
I've one thing to say, and that's damn it, Janet, I love you.
It was a great episode to do because I think our show is all about being an outcast, and I think that Rocky Horror is a show for outcasts to go to.
And in 2016, the musical was reimagined for a star-studded TV production.
Quake with fear, you tiny fools.
I think one of the most special things about Rocky Horror is the theme of it has remained true. It's be yourself, be true to yourself, and explore who you were meant to be.
In a groundbreaking portrayal, Laverne Cox was cast as Dr. Frankenfurter.
Enchanté. What's really interesting to me about this character is that she's an alien, and I think one of the most powerful things about Rocky Horror Picture Show is that for over 40 years, it has been a symbol for people who are identified as LGBT or queer in some way. It's appropriate that our Frankenfurter is a woman now, and a trans woman.
Yes. Laverne hit upon the biggest part of Rocky Horror's legacy. For anyone who's ever felt different, or maybe they'd like to, there's a one-of-a-kind cinema experience waiting for the next generation to step into the roles of
Janet!
Dr. Scott!
Janet!
Rocky! I suppose it's about people that are outside of society and find their way in. I would like to think it's because it encourages people to have dreams, not just to dream something, but to be it, and that it's all about whatever you are is all right.
Creature out of the night!
I mean, talk about a classic. All right, coming up, we've got more frightfully funny flicks. When highlighting frightfully funny flicks, there is one group we knew we had to call the Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters is going to be a very, very funny movie.
Absolutely. Funny, scary, thrills and chills for the whole family, and a PG rating, we hope.
Get her!
If this movie is funny, will it still be scary?
I think we're scared right now that it's not going to be funny, so I think we're already a good part of the way there.
Do you have any notion of what a ghost should look like?
I know what they look like in the script, and they're pretty funny, you know. But I don't personally have a problem with the ghost in the movie. I have a problem with another kind of creature.
Are you the keymaster?
Yes. I'm a friend of his. He told me to meet him here.
Well, I don't think scary is its main purpose. Funny is its main purpose, and fun and epic quality, adventure.
Are you scared of ghosts?
What? No, I'm not scared of ghosts.
He's the skeptic. I'm scared of ghosts. His character, Dr. Venkman in the movie, is a skeptic and is not afraid of ghosts. My character is afraid of ghosts and sort of the optimist.
What happened? Are you okay?
He slimed me.
That's great!
I play the bushy squirrel of the three, right?
Yes. And it's a good look for him, too, isn't it? He looks fabulous.
It's the porcupine look.
How are the two of you enjoying working together?
This has been a lot of fun. We haven't worked together since Saturday Night Live.
A corkscrew.
A corkscrew. Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
You know, it's the one thing I could really use around the house. You know, lately I've been sucking the cork out, and I end up drinking the whole bottle.
We have a lot of bad blood to get out from those days that
And
we're
catching
enjoying.
up to do.
Yeah, we have a lot of catching up. It's really been a lot of fun to work together. And I don't want to get corny and emotional, but could you cut the camera for a second?
You've never worked with the two of them before. Are you all laughing on the set all day long?
They're funny. I don't have many scenes with all of them because I'm one of the victims, you know, but no, they're just like, you know, good people.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Were you at all worried about whether that chemistry would be there?
Oh, I think that's sort of a given. We all come from the same background, and you know, we're just exercising it. That's all. And I'm, you know, listen, hey, for me, I can work with anybody. I don't know about you, but
I work with animals mostly, but we've known each other for 10 years, or we go back. So we know going in, we really don't have many problems.
The movie has a great deal of heart, a great deal of humor and innocence, I think. You know, I think that's what attracted me to it. It's what Danny Aykroyd calls a little boy's comedy.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Now, explain it to me why you're having the party at the beginning of the production. Isn't it supposed to be at the end?
well, this is to just see the set in its full glory before we destroy it in the movie. It's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
New York is going in this movie?
Have you been in New York lately?
Yeah. It's on the edge. It's definitely on the edge. We imply that the city is threatened, and that's what the Ghostbusters are all about. Coming to save the island of Manhattan and whoever else wants to jump in.
Ray, when someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes!
They've built New York for us here, yes.
I wish everyone could have life like this. They could have their own Paris vacation or whatever. This is not ironic. This is silly that you can have this here. I don't know.
Only in America.
Is there some statement about how you're going to get along together in this film by having the party at the beginning instead of the end?
Well, things are pretty good so far.
I think when you're getting along in the beginning, you have parties in the beginning. It's the people who wait till the end that always regret that they weren't drunk on the set more, or, you know, didn't drive cars through the scenery. You know, it's, the last week you always think, why didn't we break more stuff? You know, why didn't we insult someone or get arrested? So
that comes near the end. You know what? Now we have our full faculties. This is the time to.
You get dulled.
It's true.
Your senses are dulled by the end of the film, and you really can't appreciate free drinks anymore. You know, and a free drink now means something.
Stick around, we've got more spooky content right here on ET. It has been said that Tim Burton is a master of blending fear with laughter. So let's take a look at some of his iconic films.
There are few who deny it. What I do, I am the best, for my talents are renowned far and wide.
I didn't intend to write the songs for myself. I'm not sure exactly what point I realized that I was the one that should sing this part, but in developing the songs, Jack's ups and downs were so extreme, and I was writing so much. Jack is a hybrid between Tim and myself. On the one hand, he's got a lot of Tim's eccentricities. On the other hand, his schizophrenic nature is much like my own in terms of talking himself into stuff.
I've read these Christmas books so many times. I know the stories and I know the rhymes. I know the Christmas carols all by heart. My skull's so full it's tearing me apart.
And the beauty of Jack is that he talks himself into realizing what Christmas is all about. And when he's down in pieces in the graveyard and he screwed everything up completely, nothing happens to convince him that he's the Pumpkin King again. He just talks himself into it.
Well, what the heck? I went and did my best, and by God, I really tasted something swell.
And this enthusiasm was really contagious. I really got into it, and I really began to like going from the ups and downs and the highs and lows and being able to really stretch the voice around. It was so much fun. And unlike Tim, Jack was very talkative. He talks and talks and talks. You can't shut him up. So that's the side of Jack that's like me. In his songs, he sees anything and he just goes on and on and on and on describing it.
What's this? What's this? There's color everywhere.
What's this? There's white things in the air. What's this? I can't believe my eyes. I must be dreaming. Wake up, Jack. This isn't fair.
What's this?
It's really fun, and he gets to do some really delicious moments. I think my favorite is where he's explaining to Halloweenland. He's just found Christmas, and he's explaining these objects he's brought back, these presents and things.
This is a thing called a present. The whole thing starts with a box.
And they just don't get it. It's a box. It's been agreed, but the box is filled with a pox.
A pox? How delightful, a pox.
And they keep thinking, well, what is it that's interesting? Is it horrible? And he's going, no. And then finally at the end, he conjures up this tale of Sandy Claus. And he says, I may as well give them what they want.
And on a dark, cold night, under full moonlight, he flies into a fog like a vulture in the sky.
That was so much fun to do. And then all of a sudden, well, the best, I must confess, I've saved for the last. And he really, now he's got their attention.
And they call him Sandy Claus.
I did the demos, and at a certain point, I went to Tim and I said, there's a lot of better singers than I am, but Jack is for me. He is me. And Tim agreed.
I don't believe what's happening to me. My hopes, my dreams, my fantasy.
Are you okay?
Yes, are you okay?
I think what's great about it is it has probably everything, I know a lot of people say that about the movies, but I think this one really does have the romance and the fairy tale, and it's a thriller, and it's it has everything. It's a great combo platter.
Sort of a mixed bag. I think if you have any expectations, you'll have to throw them out as soon as you walk in.
Yeah.
Coming up, we've got more frightfully funny flicks.
Things happen where we're not very good at haunting our house, and we don't do a very good job, so we have to get help. So we get Michael Keaton comes and as a
He's dead.
ghost
He's dead in this film, and he's dead in this town. He's a living doll to me.
Says,
Live people ignore the strange and unusual.
She's a really great character. But you know, she's real.
I myself am strange and unusual.
You know, she's like, you know when you get in those moods where you feel really dramatic and you just sigh all the time? Well, she's like that all the time.
Delia, lighten up.
I would rather talk about...
I play, I guess, a bad stepmother. Oh, not really. I'm misdirected, ill-directed. Woman who thinks she's an artist and was just too defensive and too insecure and too much of a nutcase to succeed at anything, including being a mother or stepmother or wife. But I'm trying.
If you don't let me gut out this house and make it my own, I will go insane and I will take you with me!
It's the most creative of all the movies I've done.
Beetlejuice.
It's showtime. Show up 6 o'clock every morning, 3.5 hours of makeup, hour and a half, taking it off at night, doing and saying some of the oddest, strangest things I've ever said in front of a camera, and having one hell of a good time.
I just want you two to know you're welcome at our house anytime you want to come over.
Beetlejuice is kind of a creepy little devilish, funny character, a guy who's been dead for 300 years. And he scares the living out of us.
Although, did you work all night and drink a rum?
Stack banana till the morning come. Daylight come and we want to go home.
You're going to see things in this movie you've never seen before. I think people are going to be mind blown by what they see on a visual level.
I'm alive for a few scenes in the beginning, but then basically I'm your average dead person in this movie, and finding out what that's all about.
Beetlejuice! Beetlejuice!
I was attracted to this movie because it's so unique. You know, when I read it, I said, well, I just have to be in this movie. I try to think about how people will react when they see it, and I think they'll just say, what was that? Did you see that movie? It's like, you have to see it, it's weird.
Daylight come and we want to go home. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and we want to go home.
I've learned a lot about special effects and directing from the director Tim Burton, who's great. It's going to go down in my memory as one of the great movies that I'll ever work on, I think.
Work, 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 Sinora, work your body liner. Work, 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 Sinora, work it all the time.
Coming up, we are taking you behind the scenes of Hocus Pocus. Hocus Pocus has been casting a spell on audiences for decades, and E.T. has been there since the very beginning.
I've never done a picture with this kind of special effects, with the flying and electricity coming out of your hands.
Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy were sisters who cast spells, hexes, and brew up evil potions.
For that marvelous introduction.
I think Bette is nothing short of a genius. I really do.
SJP donned a blonde wig and took to the sky on her broom.
We spent about 4 weeks working on flying, and have worked on it. You know, when the camera's not rolling, I come in early and rehearse it, and you know, I do my own stunts in this, and it's just been great fun.
But Bette found the broomstick riding a little more challenging.
Come! We fly!
It was very, very hard because, you know, you had to hold on to that broom and make all these gestures and carry on and act at the same time. It was really tough.
Can we do this again, please?
Along with
With the special effects, the witches also had to wear old age makeup.
They pull your skin and then they paint like rubber, just like liquid rubber, and then they take a blow dryer and blow it and then squish it so you have tons and tons of wrinkles. I lured the child here.
SJP was not totally on board with the old age part.
Oh, I was horrified. I could see the places on my face that I'm going to need to worry about, you know. It's a great lesson in gravity and what it really does.
It's just a bunch of hocus pocus!
It's the biggest risk I've ever taken. It's the most courageous I've ever been.
Coming up, we have Megan Fox talking all about Jennifer's body. Jennifer's Body may not have made a scream at the box office, but it has gone on to become a cult classic. In 2019, E.T. reunited the writer, Diablo Cody, and star, Megan Fox, to discuss their often misunderstood film.
I gotta go. I am a god. Okay. Something that people actually do ask me about a lot and I don't ever have the answers for is like the inception of this project. So I have a specific question of my own, but just in general for you, how did it start and how did I get involved in this movie? And Amanda and everyone else.
Well, okay, so I specifically, my entire life had dreamed of writing a horror movie. I'm a huge horror fan, and I had, you know, at the time that I wrote Jennifer's Body, I'd only done one feature at that point. I had written Juno, which is not a horror movie, unless you think Unwanted Pregnancy is a horror, which I guess it kind of is.
I know a few of those people.
Yeah, so for me it was just the fulfillment of a dream, and Juno had been a successful movie, so coming off of that, I was sort of given carte blanche to write anything that I wanted. And it's very rare for a screenwriter to have that kind of creative freedom, and indeed I have not enjoyed that level of creative freedom since. So I just thought, all right, this is it. Like, I'm gonna write my crazy gonzo horror movie, and I want it to be female focused. I want it to be about a female friendship, and I specifically want it to be about a girl who eats boys. I want it to be about like cannibalism and about sex and empowerment and revenge and all that stuff, and I knew what I wanted. And so I wrote the script, and that was, if I recall correctly, a very free-flowing and exciting and easy process. And I think I was aware of how bizarre it was. Like right off the bat, I was like, this is not a super commercial movie. Mm-hmm. But I was lucky enough to get Karin Kusama attached to direct, and then the big question became, who's gonna play Jennifer? And honestly, everybody else, like, for instance, the character Needy, like, we read a lot of people, and we talked to a lot of actresses. I remember sitting down with like Emma Stone and like, but before we realized that Amanda Seyfried was clearly perfect for the part. But Jennifer, we always knew that was you. There was no question about it. I'm sure you remember being approached like early on in the process.
Yeah. What was it about me that made you think that I could play a psychopath that devours boys?
Do you know what it was? I think, and this is a compliment, okay, you have mystique, which not a lot of, particularly now in this era of social media and people being completely accessible, it's rare.
She can fly. She's just hovering. It's not that impressive. God, do you have to undermine everything that I do? You are such a player hater. You're a jerk. Wow, nice insult, Hannah Montana.
When I first saw it, I was so thrilled. I left the edit, I was overwhelmed, I was in tears. And Mason, our producer, was with me, and we were both so happy. So then when the movie was screened, we were knocked for a loop because we...
But what happened at the screening? People were like, we
oh my God.
hate it.
People eviscerated.
Did they not understand that it was a comedy? Were they disappointed it wasn't a straight horror movie? What were they upset about?
So they had recruited two types of people for the screening, is I'm gathering based on the data we received. People who were huge fans of Juno,
okay,
which is not the same kind of movie, and many of whom were horrified and said, like, I came here to see a cute movie like Juno, and there is murder in this, you know, it was like they were not even prepared to see a horror film. And then the other part of the audience was guys who wanted to see something very specific from you.
What age group were the guys?
I mean, if I had to guess, I would say they were 18 to 24.
Okay.
The coveted, precious white male 18 to 24 demographic was there. I do not recall seeing a lot of girls there at all.
You know what's funny is people assume, like they assumed, that most of my fan base is male, and it's not true. It's young girls.
Oh, I know that from looking at Instagram and Twitter and the posts that I get sent.
Yeah.
That it is women.
It's teenage, early 20s, like you said.
Yeah.
Females.
MoveOn.org, needy. It's over. Life is too short to be moping around about some white trash pig roast. That's sweet, Jen.
And I don't like anything that I do, but even I, after seeing the movie, was like, this is a great movie. I expected to get on. That's what was always happening, and I figured was going to continue to happen. But I was surprised that the movie itself wasn't given more respect. But it has grown like year after year after year. It's growing this. I don't even know if can it even be considered a cult following at this point. I feel like it's broken through where it's just a lot of people are obsessed with this movie.
So the million-dollar question, when can we get a sequel? All right, coming up, we have two Hollywood legends whose film changed visual effects forever. Death Becomes Her asks the age-old question, is immortality all it's cracked up to be? What if you got to spend it, though, with Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn? E.T. was with the team behind the groundbreaking film.
On guard! It was great to be evil and naughty and just let it fly.
Yes! Because I don't usually get to play, you know, straight ahead sort of bimbo villains. Yeah. So she was this out and out, you know, bad girl.
She's dead! She is.
Before Meryl was cast as fiancé-stealing actress Madeline, she actually wanted the role that went to Goldie.
I have a hole in my stomach!
How about that character? How about the idea of living forever?
In the dark comedy, Goldie's out for revenge on her former friend, but they both take the same potion that promises immortality and turns them into the living dead. The fight is all over a man, a doctor played by Bruce Willis.
I see a very, very bad situation developing here.
He's just a pathetic guy. He's just a little slow, that's all.
It was exciting, it was challenging, it was new things, it was special effects, which was, you know, a new area for us, for all of us.
Yeah, the movie won an Oscar for those special effects and made history as the first film to CGI human skin.
So I fall down the stairs and I break my neck in several places and my head is on backwards, but I'm still alive.
You pushed me down the stairs.
And cut!
I wore a bag over my head. Did the whole scene like this, you know, with the bag.
I just have to make a telephone call.
6 weeks or I don't know how long later, I went back and replicated the performance that I'd done backwards, strapped in a chair, and then they took my face, put it on top of the backwards body.
As for this iconic scene, that's actually an animatronic puppet.
This thing stands up into frame, and you suddenly realize that she's got this hole through it.
That was totally uncalled for.
E.T. went behind the scenes with the geniuses who created the Goldie and Meryl robots.
I'll tell you about pain!
Meryl pulls her head up and snaps it back into place. And to do that, we had several different puppets.
I will not speak to you till you put your head on straight.
That's it for Frightfully Funny Flicks, but stick around because we have more great content for you right here on ET.